Hello, welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We are going to do a blind tasting of Cabernet Sauvignon because I think that varietal will be a dominant choice for many people at their Christmas dinner. A lot of people have prime rib at Christmas. I know I will. That's probably the only time I actually cook prime rib at my house is at Christmas. A lot of people do Christmas ham. Obviously, Pinot Noir would be the choice with ham, or Syrah. I like either one of those. But we're going to focus today on Cabernet Sauvignon because I honestly believe that that will be a choice of many people for Christmas dinner. I always feel like Christmas, people spend just a little bit more on their wine. It's a special dinner, special time with family. So, you spring a little bit. Even though the economy kind of sucks right now, I think people will spring a little bit more for Christmas wine choices. So, let's get started right away. Cabernet Sauvignon. A cross between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc. So, interesting that a white wine is one of the parents of Cabernet Sauvignon. Let's get started right off the bat. Cabernet Sauvignon, sorry, I got this kind of scrunch up. Number one, Cabernet Sauvignon is the top-selling red wine in the United States. Only beat out by a white wine. Do you know the number one selling wine in the United States is? And it is white wine. Let me know in the comments. I have a couple other questions too I'd like to get an answer to. People are being kind of quiet right now. I wish people would jump in and comment more. I really like that. I'd like to answer those questions and comment back. I really do. I really like that a lot. So Cabernet Sauvignon, the king of reds, the queen, whatever makes you feel happy. Very dark. We expect that from a Cab. They generally are darker than most wines. Let's see what we get on the nose. A lot of currants. I'm getting a little bit of pyrazine, like nettles and just barely, not a lot. But definitely a lot of currants, a little splash of licorice. Also getting a little kind of a baked earth thing going on. Let's see what we get on the palate. Kind of mellow for a Cab, really. The currant notes are there. Has good acidity though. It has a nice brightness lying underneath, making the tannins a little bit crunchy, as we might say. The tannins are there, but they're not seriously strong. Cab tends to be a little bit more tannic than, let's say, a Merlot. I like Merlot just as much, and some Merlots can be bigger than a Cab, believe it or not. Depends on the style of the winemaker. Unfortunately, in our day and age, a lot of winemakers are making wine to drink now versus back in the day, they made them to age. So they were a little bit more tannic, structured wines. Nowadays, people buy it and want to drink it now, so they tend to make their wines in that way. This Cab is a little bit on the light side for me. Kind of dusty tannins, actually. And then there it is, a little bit of grip on the backside. Making it, food would be perfect for this wine. I get a little bit of that pyrazine, kind of that herbaceousness that comes through on the back end. Kind of that nettle, salal leaf sort of thing. But still, a little bit light. I'm not super excited about this Cab. To me, it's kind of average. Not bad, not great. Sometimes I think people want great Cab with their Christmas meal. Just saying. Okay, let's move on. not super excited. Not a great start to the Cab blind tasting. Number two. Number two. Got a little rinse here. I am curious what you guys plan on having for your Christmas dinner. Choice of wine. What are you going to drink? A lot of people start a little bit early, you know, open a couple bottles before dinner. But what are you going to actually have with your Christmas meal? If it's prime rib, are you going Cab? Are you going Syrah? What are you going? Merlot? Zinfandel? What are you doing? Okay. A lot of these colors are going to be the same. This is a kind of a crimson black, you know, kind of really on the black side, on the dark side. All these are going to be on the dark side, I would assume. Let's see if we get on those. Definitely currants. Very common in Cabernet Sauvignon to have currants and dark cherries. So you're not going to see a huge jump in the aromatic profile of these wines. You get a little worn leather on this one, a little licorice. Definitely dark cherries and currants. Getting a little bit of a spice action too, which would come from the oak. Oak treatment definitely gives a spice action, especially French oak. Let's see what we get on the palate. Definitely a deeper Cab. This is what I'm looking for in a Cab. First one was okay. This is much deeper. Has that kind of worn leather, cool, really worn leather thing. Ripe currants, but controlled or supported by acidity. Keeps it in the check. It's not a goopy kind of over-the-top fruit wine, which unfortunately you get a lot of those these days. But this one is definitely going to have some structure, good balance, nice seamless cross palate really. With the tannins are nicely integrated, so it's you have the structure, the tannins, but they're not grippy. You understand? Get it? I also get a little wood on this one as well. The spices come through on the mid palate just a little bit. There's just they kind of hide in there. They're like sneaky. You know, they're there, but they don't pop out. And right on the back end, the spices come through on this wine. I like this one a lot better than number one, just saying. Has more going on, more complexity. Almost don't want to dump this out. I got to keep moving. Get a little bit of bark action too on this one as well. So this is more of what I'm looking for in a Cab, and I think a lot of people are looking for in a Cab, depending on the price, of course. Number one might be a screaming value. You never know. Okay. Always feels like they're going to tip over when they're in a bag. Right, number three. So 1 out of 2 so far. Number 3. Any rinse? Really, you know, rinsing a Cab with a Cab. Well, they are different, you know, so we want to make sure we don't have the other one helping the next one or hurting the next one, depending on how you look at it. Number 3. Again, very dark, what you'd expect from a Cabernet Sauvignon. Well, this has an interesting nose, kind of a little, I got a little stink action right off the bat. Then licorice, then currant. I'm getting a little bit of a nettle, kind of a herbaceous component on this one as well. As number 1, also a little licorice. And you know, there's a little leather action on this one. 2 had it, 3 has it. Let's see what we get on the palate. The Pearsings come through big time on this one. This reminds me a lot of a, you know, a Napa Valley kind of 70s, 80s Napa Valley Cab with that kind of nettle, green vegetal component. It's not off-putting because there's enough of the fruit there to balance it out. But I know there's a lot of guys, a lot of my friends that would like this wine. A lot of the guys that shop at the store because they like that kind of uniqueness of this one, of a Cab like this. leathery tannins. I'm going to say it, leathery tannins, a little bit of spice, a little grip action on the tannins on the backside. You have this wine with prime rib, it's going to really meld with the wine and the meat, because those tannins will mellow out when you get the fattiness of the prime rib, or whatever you're having, roast, whatever kind of roast, whatever you're having, except for ham. This would not work with ham. This is a tough one because this is, compared to number 2, this has some different characteristics. A little grip action, a little more Parisine. Not the spice. I like the spice of number 2. But I like the structure of this wine. Nicely integrated. This is probably a better food wine than number 2. 2 would work really well. This is a throwback cab to me. Back in the days when they used to make them to age, and they had that little bit of vegetal component to them. I like that sometimes, not always, but I do like it. Kind of a Bordeaux type feeling, if you know what I mean. This is tough. A little leather. This one needs to open up a little bit more. And I do encourage, and I will say this, I do encourage you to decant your wine, especially at Christmas time when you're doing a prime rib, depending on the wine that you choose, of course. But cabs especially, wouldn't hurt to open them up, dump them in something. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but some sort of container so that they can breathe a little bit. This wine is a baby, I'm going to say. I think it has great potential for aging. I like it. It would go well with prime rib. All right. Let's move on to number 4. I know a lot of people have said they like the blind tastings. I like doing them. It's kind of cool to see what comes out where, you know? Alright, number 4. This one is a little more purple than the other 3. But it's still dark, but it goes to the purple side a little bit rather than the black. There you go, I said it. Let's see what we get on those. Little clam action. Not my favorite aromatics of any wine. But the currants kind of balance that out, so it's not totally into Clamville. Just saying. Definitely licorice notes on this one. Currants. Dark cherries. The clam thing is kind of blowing off. That's good. Very good. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I've used this descriptor a lot. My assistant Scott has finally figured out what I'm talking about. It's kind of kooky, but you know, I love clams, but I don't like the smell of my wine, and I do smell clams in wine at times. Call me weird. I don't care, but I do. Just saying. There's a little bit of a leafy action on this one, a little bit of a salal leaf. Yeah, let's see what we get on the palate. Nice dark cherry currant, more fruit forward. You get a little bit of that leaf action on the back end of this wine, but it's prominently a solid, delicious wine. I'm going to put this as a 10 in the delicious category. This would be a lot of people's favorite cab right here, just saying, because it has that fruit, it has the balance, it has some acidity, balancing that fruit out, a little bit of tannic structure at the back end. A little bit of that leafiness on it. This is an interesting cab. I like it. I can see this being a cab that I'd recommend for people. If you ask enough questions, what do you like? I say what I like. I don't like, you know, this is dry but not too dry. Has fruit but not too much fruit. Has that kind of like leafiness at the backside, kind of salal leaf. You know what I mean? just leaves, like blackberry leaves, things like that. But they're not dominant. It's not off-putting in any way. Just there a little bit. Nice balance on this wine. Good structure. Yeah. This one would be a winner with the populace. Just saying. It's not my favorite of the bunch, but it's very good. I'm going to just put that out there. Okay. All right, here we go. The unveiling. I'm always excited to see where they fall. So let's go. Let's get this set up. Okay, here we go. In last place, or fourth, last place with a C+. So I thought this wine was a little bit on the weaker side. Wasn't super excited about it, but it wasn't bad. So C+, above average, not a bad grade. You know, my stepfather used to say, C students are the best students. I was an A student. He said that just to piss me off. But C+ is a good grade. A lot of people would like to get a C+ in school. Let's see what this one is. Okay, this is the Stark 2018 Stark-Conde Cabernet Sauvignon from Stellenbosch, South Africa, 2018. This rolls in at $28. I've tried this in the past. I was more impressed within the past. $28 is a little steep for a C+ wine. Just going to say it right off the bat. Boom. So that's a pass for me. I'm not going to go there with that one. I wasn't super excited about it. Which is a bummer because I'm a big fan of South African wines. Just going to take one more quick. Yeah. Not going there. See, I agree with my own score. C+ wine. Okay. In third place with a B-B, which is a great grade. Number 4, which is the last one I tasted, and I thought this one would be a real crowd pleaser. I think you could take this to anybody's house, you could pour it, you have company over, they all like it, just saying with it. B-B is the, no surprise there, 2018 Bookwalter Reader's Cabernet Sauvignon. This rolls in at $19. So for $19, yeah, $9 less than the other one. I'm going to go with that one. I think that would be a real crowd pleaser. $19. Gotta look at something real quick, guys. Excuse me for just a second. Okay, I needed that. In second place with a B, straight up B+. I was digging this wine quite a bit. Number 2, yes, is this Dunham 2020. Oh, come on, really? 2016 Dunham Cabernet Sauvignon. This rolls in at $55. $55. Okay, Dunham. Great producer. Like that wine quite a bit. I thought that one would age very well, and I still do. 2016. It could go another 10 years easily. In first place with an A-, I also felt this one was aged. Is number 3 is the 2019. Is that right? Sorry, I'm wearing the wrong glasses, guys. 2015 Gunlock Boonshoe Cabernet Sauvignon. This is, I think this is one that Sonoma Valley, Sonoma Coast, California. This rolls in at $51. There you go, $51. I'm a big fan of Gun Bun. I like their wines. Yeah, that was number 3. Very nice. So the question is, are you guys going to think about Cabernet Sauvignon for your Christmas meal if you're having prime rib? Or What are you going to pour? I'm very curious to know. I know some of you will do Bordeaux, but make a comment. Please make a comment. I want to know what you're thinking about. And we're talking about prime rib right now. What are you going to pour with your prime rib at your Christmas meal? Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I really appreciate it. I'm getting close to 700 followers. Not that I'm counting, but that's really cool that many people enjoy this program. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider it, because then you'll know when I put up an episode. Just hit the subscribe button and you're in. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.